A few years ago, researchers gave people a simple attention task. Nothing complicated, just sustained focus on one thing. And the people who checked their phones the most during the day performed like they'd aged nearly a decade, cognitively, compared to people who didn't. Same age, same education, one habit, apparently rewriting how sharp their brain felt. I'm not going to tell you what that habit is yet, but if you've ever finished a workday and felt like your brain is full of static, like you did 100 things and remember none of them, this is probably why. So here's what's actually going on. There's one very specific behavior that neuroscience keeps circling back to as a quiet drain on brain function, and it's not what most people assume. It's not too much screen time, in some vague sense. It's something more precise than that. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 4 ways this behavior reshapes your brain, and at the end, I'll give you a real cognitive test, the kind used in actual psychology labs, that you can try on yourself in under 2 minutes to see how much this has already affected you. Now, why does this matter more than it sounds like it should? Well, think about it this way. The human brain evolved to do one thing at a time, deeply. Our ancestors weren't tracking 6 threats simultaneously while composing a mental grocery list. Attention was a survival tool built for depth, not width. And for most of human history, there simply wasn't the option to fragment it the way we do now. So we're running ancient hardware through a demand it was never built for, and I think that mismatch is exactly why this feels so exhausting even when we can't name why. I've spent years in clinical practice watching patients describe this exact fog, so I want to walk through the actual biology with you. And just to say it plainly, I'm a physician, but I'm not your physician, and this is educational content, not a substitute for individualized medical care. The behavior we're talking about is chronic task switching, what researchers often call media multitasking. Not doing 2 things because you have to, but the habitual, low-level hopping between tabs, notifications, and half-finished thoughts throughout the day. Here's the mechanism, and I want you to picture it almost like a chalkboard. Every time you switch tasks, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain handling planning and focus, doesn't fully erase the last board before writing the new one. There's residue left behind. Some of your attention just stays stuck on the thing you left. Let's go point by point. First, attention residue itself, sitting in the prefrontal cortex. Research suggests that when you switch tasks before finishing one, a measurable slice of your working memory stays tethered to the old task, even after your hands and eyes have moved on. That's why you can reread the same email paragraph 3 times and still not absorb it. Part of your processing power genuinely isn't there. The practical takeaway: finishing, even briefly, before switching, seems to reduce how much gets left behind. Second, and this one surprises people, dopamine. Every notification, every new tab, every little ding is a small reward cue, and studies suggest this trains your brain's reward circuitry to crave the switch itself, not the content. Over time, evidence indicates this can lower your baseline tolerance for sustained, low-stimulation focus, meaning reading a book or sitting in a meeting starts to feel almost physically uncomfortable, not because you got lazier, but because your reward system quite literally recalibrated. The takeaway: boredom tolerance is a trainable skill, and right now, most of us are training it backward. Third, the hippocampus, your memory encoding center. For many people, memory formation works best with what's sometimes called deep encoding, full attention laid down as one continuous trace. Chronic switching seems to interrupt that process, so information gets stored in fragments instead of a coherent whole. This is likely part of why you can spend an hour multitasking through content and afterwards struggle to explain what you actually learned. The memory was never fully consolidated in the first place. Practical takeaway: single tasking, even for 10 focused minutes, appears to produce dramatically better retention than an hour of fragmented attention. Fourth, and this is the one I think gets overlooked most, chronic low-grade cortisol elevation. Constant task switching keeps your nervous system in a kind of low-level vigilance state, like you're perpetually anticipating the next interruption. Over time, sustained cortisol exposure has been associated with effects on the hippocampus and broader cognitive flexibility. It's subtle. Nobody feels stressed in the dramatic sense. It just feels like tiredness that sleep doesn't quite fix. And that mismatch, tired but wired, is often the tell. Now, a quick watch-out section, because I think this matters for trust. A lot of people hear all this and reach for digital detoxes, full weekend phone bans. And honestly, the evidence for those producing lasting change is pretty thin. Most people just rebound right back into old patterns within days. Another overrated fix: background focused music, apps marketed as neuroscience backed. For some people, they help. For others, they're just another stimulus competing for the same attention. And I'll add the honest caveat here. A lot of the multitasking research is observational, not experimental, meaning we can say these patterns are strongly associated with worse focus and memory, but proving strict causation in real-world settings is genuinely harder to pin down. Okay, the bonus, as promised. There's a real, well-known cognitive test called the Stroop test, and I'd encourage you to look it up and try it. It takes about 90 seconds. It measures exactly this kind of attentional interference, how well your brain can stay locked onto one instruction while a conflicting cue is right in front of it. People with heavier chronic task switching habits often perform measurably slower on it. It's not a diagnosis of anything, just a genuinely interesting mirror, a 2-minute snapshot of how trained, or how fragmented, your attention currently is. If there's one thing I'd want you to leave with, it's this. Your brain isn't broken, and this isn't about willpower failure. It's a mismatch between old wiring and a new environment, and mismatches like that can be retrained, gradually, one finished task at a time. I hope this was helpful. Stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.